In this video, I will show you how to create a coffee mug. First, you will need to log in. Once you're logged in, go to the Create tab. For this, I will be using the Shaper tool. What you need to know about three-dimensional designing is that everything is about your perspective. So you will go to the top right of the screen. This little box here will allow you to change your perspective. You can double click on any color of this box and it will straighten your board. Having a straight board is very important because it allows your designs to be straight. You can also double click here on this line and it will tilt your board. For the coffee mug, we will start with the first shape, which is a cylinder. This cylinder is just a little too small, so I'd like to make it bigger. So I will click on the top right icon here, and it is currently on to the free size. What this free size means is that I can transform it however I would like. This fixed size is going to keep the exact measurements and make it small or big. So for this, I actually just want to have the free form because I just want to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. I just clicked outside of it and it will give me our normal view. So now you want to double click on the top of the box so you can get this view. If for some reason your shape looks like this, you can just go ahead and fix it. So it looks like this. You want to make sure it's circular. You're going to go back to your yellow view. From here, you will click on the cylinder and then you will click on the three bars to the top left, and we're going to duplicate this. The duplicate button is the two pieces of paper. It's the copy. So I will go ahead and copy this. I personally like to change the color so I can see them. What we're going to do now is I'm going to take one of these shapes, make it a little smaller, put it inside of the cylinder and subtract the shapes. What that will do is that will hollow out this shape for us. So I'm going to move this aside. Click on this, go to the fixed. I'm just going to make this a little tiny bit smaller here. Put it in the middle, keep holding it, and then drag it up so you see it just a little bit. You'll notice that this blue bar here will show you where it will hollow it out. So there'll be this much of a gap at the very base of the cup. So from there, you're going to want to look at the top view and make sure that it looks good. You don't want it to be like this or outside. You want it pretty much in the middle here. Go ahead and go back to this view. And we're going to go ahead and subtract one of the shapes. So we'll click on the Boolean option and we'll go all the way to the very left and we will click on that. Before you hit this check mark, you're going to want to look inside and make sure that it looks hollow in here. If for some reason your object looks like this, you just need to click on the cylinder that's in the inside, so the orange cylinder, and that will change that for you. From here, we will create a handle. So we will go ahead and use this shape right here, which kind of looks like a donut. What you're going to want to do is make sure that your objects are away from each other. And we're going to and we can always make this bigger or smaller, so don't worry about changing the shape now or the size now. We're going to now use a 360-degree tool. So I will click on this option and then you will see something that looks like this. From here, I will just click on this red tube or red circle. And actually we can just put in 270. And I think that should make it pretty straight. Yep. Okay, so this should be 270 in the X axis. Then I will take this object, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this object in half. The way I'm going to do that is click on a box. I'm going to take the box and I'm going to put it on half of this. So you can see now that it's actually not touching. So I'm going to have to change my perspective. I'm going to place this object in the middle of it. And I actually like to make this a little bit bigger. And the reason why is because I've noticed sometimes this doesn't get fully subtracted. So when you have something that looks somewhat similar to this, click on this box and we're gonna go ahead and subtract the shapes again. It should look something similar to this. If for some reason yours looks like this, you can just move this box up. If you like what you have, you hit the check mark. If you don't, hit the return button and try again. From here, we're going to take the handle and put it by the cup. We need to make sure that we're looking at this from every angle to see how it actually looks. So let's look at the top view first. So you can see it's actually not placed where it needs to be. So I'm going to put it here. Look at this view. You can see it's not where it's supposed to be, so you gotta drag it down, and then you're always gonna want to look at this view. Also, there is another trick here. If you hold down this rotate button, just hold it down, you can also slightly angle it to where you want it to be if there's something off. But I'm just gonna leave mine at 270. Oops. Okay, so it looks pretty good. You're going to want to make sure that this handle is inside of the cup. You don't want the handle to be actually in the cup, but you don't want it to barely be touching, because if it's something like this, it will not print. So just make sure that it's in as much as you can make it in without it going inside the cup and you seeing it on the inside. So that looks pretty good. From there, if you want to make it bigger or smaller, you can go ahead and adjust that size. So we're going to now link these two objects together. So I'll click on this chain as a link. And you'll see that the cup is blue. If you clicked on the cup, maybe the handle is blue, but whenever you see it blue or where it actually looks a little bit translucent like this, that means that these two objects aren't touching. So now I'm going to click it so it becomes a solid object. That means that these are solid together. Once you have it solid, go ahead and hit your check mark and then test it. So that's how you do a basic coffee mug. We're going to take it one step further. So what I would like you to do is actually go onto basic shapes and hit flat designs. You can scroll down to the bottom here, and some of these will have a little locked icon on them. So I want you to choose something from the flat objects and click on it. I will show you, since I've purchased all of mine, what that will look like with the different shape. Once you hit the OK button, go ahead and hit the green button to purchase that object. If you don't have enough coins, you may need to choose a different object. Hit the U-turn button, and then you will go ahead and click on that object. All objects are in the middle of the board, so you will need to look at the top view. Click on the object and drag it in front of it. Then you will look at this front view and you will put it where you want it to go. I would like it in the middle. Then you move it to this view, the blue view, and I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller so it looks flat. and you're going to want to move it close to the coffee mug. So it actually is somewhat inside of the coffee mug. Now, once you have this, you will want to slowly turn your box around and look at this from every single angle. If you need to make any adjustments, feel free to do that. Sometimes it gets a little bit tricky. You have to keep changing your perspective. So I could see that there's something inside of there, which is okay. So I will turn it to the blue angle slightly here, and this is going to be a good angle for me to pull it out. And again, this is not about being perfect. It's really about just learning what these tools do. As time goes on, you will become great at it. So from there, you will want to now link these objects. So I will go ahead and wait for a moment to see if you can figure out what you need to do to link these objects. Okay, so the link is here, and now it's a translucent color here for the coffee mug. So go ahead and click on that, and now everything is solid. From there, hit the check mark, and your coffee mug is now complete, and you can move it all around. And that is how you complete a coffee mug. If you'd like to look at your coffee mug, go ahead and go to My Designs, and you'll see it right there. I hope you enjoyed this video.